let's get started. Hey guys, what's going on? Book on board. It's the 11th of May. This is probably attempt number 6 or 7. I've tried to make this over the last few days, and I'm just never happy with the video and how it's coming out, because this is going to be one take and it's not going to be edited because of the nature of the video. I am on board. We will be arriving into New York in about 8 hours, and I will be leaving the MSC Merivilia when we get to New York, and I'll be flying home completely by choice. I worked a notice period, but I'm going to come into detail on why I'm leaving, why I'm not happy here, and basically just some heads up if any of you guys want to become crew staff or work for MSC. As before joining, there was always that mixed review, you know, some people say good, some people say bad. I'm going to explain the way MSC do things. I'm going to explain which bits I'm not happy with, and then I'm also going to explain my reasons for wanting to leave. So there is 2 reasons why I come to work on a cruise ship, or 3. Reason number 1 is so I've got something to document and something to look back through, like little memories, and I enjoy the freedom of being able to go out and just be left alone with just me and the ocean. It's like a little peaceful, happy time for me. That's reason 1. Reason number 2 is to save a little bit of money. No shadow of a doubt, being on board any cruise ship in entertainment pays horrifically bad, but cruise ships pay really bad anyways. You have to think, whatever you're going to get on land, you're going to get about 40% of what you get on land, give or take. Now you can make the argument that you have your bed, you have your food, you have your travel to work, you have all that paid for, and you don't pay tax whilst out here. At least I don't. Could be. I think it's different for US citizens, and they have to pay tax everywhere. But being from the UK, I do not have to pay tax when working abroad. Because if you're out of the country for a certain amount of days, blah blah blah. Cool. And the final reason is to travel and explore the world whilst I'm still fairly young. Now, let's start from the top. The top from when I got my contract. Yes, you can argue that I signed it and, you know, I had what was coming and what have you. But I'm working 270 hours a month, sorry. 240 to 270 a month. You know, that works out to about 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, but we work 7 days a week. But, you know, hit and miss, right? I feel like it's more like I'm working 12 hours plus, because from the moment I'm awake at 8:30 every morning till the moment I go to sleep at midnight, 1 a.m., it's just not great. But you know, in that time, there is probably, throughout the course of a day, 3.5 hours where we do actually have off, between breakfast and lunch. That's probably maybe an hour, and then between lunchtime and the evening, there's maybe an hour or two. Now, I'll talk about the pay. For crew staff, it varies. It rarely varies on MSC. There's 5 different pay grades. We all do the same job, but there's 5 different pay grades. That in itself is a red flag, but no one tells you there's 5 different pay grades, because you'll be asking questions. You'll be asking why you've been assigned to a certain pay grade, but instead they hide it by your entertainment level. Again, no other cruise ship does entertainment level. No one knows what an entertainment level is until you get on board, and it's never explained to you. You have to talk between yourselves to try and find this out. Now, 4 being the highest, 0 being the lowest. I was given entertainment level 2. I think that's because I've worked on ships before, I have an entertainment background, and because I'm English. So I feel like I jump a little bit there, and I'm gifted level 2 out of base. Some people are gifted level 1, some people are gifted level 0. But whether you're at level 0 or you're at level 4, you do exactly the same job. So it's insane. Some of my colleagues on my team are level 1, and some are level 2. I don't think anyone's level 0, but I don't think anyone's level 3 or higher. I think the highest my team is 2, but on my team, I'm the only English person on there. English is everyone's second language, and that's a very common thing with MSC. Being an Italian company, being a European company, it's very, very different to a lot of other lines. When I used to work for Princess, all my team was from the UK. I think I had one girl from America, and a girl from South Africa. That's it. On here you got South Africa, Spain, Portugal, Brazil, Colombia, and just to name off a few off the top of my head, which is fine. Everyone speaks Spanish. Their English, it's okay. But there's obviously that there is always going to be that struggle of my team understanding me. But that's more depending on where you're from. I might have a thick accent, so it's fine. And I got told that I talk a little bit quick, which again, I don't mean to. That's just how I am. So I got given a pay grade for 1,400 USD. Don't know why I didn't get paid in euros. I got paid in USD, which is less, which isn't great, but hey ho. I get paid 1,400 USD, but I'm a level 2. 1,400 USD is what level 0s get paid. Anyways, I've spoken to HR. HR basically just told me to go away. I'll come back later. I came back later and they just said, tough, you've signed the papers. There's nothing they'll do about it. But it wasn't a mistake. They deliberately sent me out a level 0 one, but put me as level 2 to make me feel privileged, but you get no privileges. One of my colleagues is level 1, and they're on a higher pay grade than me. From what I can work out, 1400's baseline, and every rank you go up higher is an extra $200 a month. 16, 18, 20, 22. With that logic, I should be on about 18, maybe 19. I got paid. I didn't reach that at all. The pay was quite shocking, to be fair. So that's another thing. Financially, it's not good enough for me to stay here. And then that's the pay spoke about. I'm not happy with the pay. It is very poor. When I went for P&O, I got paid really well, but I got the gig through my agent, and that's what the cruise line has decided with my agent, and my agent's decided with me, and I was happy with that. I would love to get more gigs from my agent, but I have to take what comes. Now, travel. If you know the Meraviglia itinerary, the main itinerary it's meant to do is New York, Florida, Nassau, Bahamas, Ocean Key. Get into Florida at midday, leave at like 8 p.m. Get into Nassau at 1 p.m, leave at 9. Get into Ocean Key at 9 a.m, leave at 9 p.m. Get into New York at 7, leave at 4 or 5. Being from the UK, this is one thing that they did not tell me, and it was not in my contract. I have all the correct documents for the United States of America. I have the right visas. I have the right things to work there. But I will not be allowed to step foot into the United States whatsoever, because I am deemed as a flight risk. It's awful. You're made to feel like a criminal. You're made to feel like you've done something wrong. Like, I don't know why I'm deemed as a flight risk. I had to sit down with American police on a boat, and I got an I-95 for San Juan, and another US port. I think it might be St. Martin. No, was it? I can't remember. And then I had my I-95 taken back off me, and I'm not allowed to go into the US. Now, if they told me that when I was back in the UK, I would have said, no thank you. I do not want that contract. I was really excited for the contract because I was excited to come back to the United States and go around Brooklyn, go around Times Square, go up Brooklyn Bridge. On the turnaround days, yes, it's going to be hella busy. And no, you won't get lots of time off, of course you won't. But I'm sure I could have once every 3 weeks or whatever got a day off. When I say day off, I mean literally not have to do embark or debark duties. As there was always one person every turnaround that didn't do any duties. So I'm sure I could have swung one once every 6 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. But no, it wasn't until I was on board that they go, yeah, you can't. I thought there might have been an error. Going, are you sure I'm from the UK? They don't care. Unless you've done 3 contracts with MSC, you are not trusted. You are not trusted to do nothing. But I'm trusted enough to go into Canada, I'm trusted enough to go into the Bahamas. Now, when you're on Ocean Key, you're expected to work. When you're on Bahamas, it's expensive, and I can only go off for about 3 hours with my schedule. So getting off 3 hours a week is just not going to be good enough for me. And not being allowed off in Florida, not being allowed off in New York, that is just insane. So they were my big drives for leaving. They were my big drives for coming, but they're the same big drives for leaving as well. On top of that, I'm going to speak about the company's values. I'm going to speak about the crew on board. Now, the crew on board each other is probably one of the worst teams of crew I've ever met in my life. No one's very nice, no one's very helpful, everyone's very cagey with one another, and it's just a very rude environment, to be fair. Whenever I see someone, I'm like, good evening sir, good evening ma'am, whatever, you know, any cruise line you ever worked on, you walk past someone, you say hello to them. Here, they look down at you. As you walk past, they just go, like, you kind of are just made to feel rubbish. But that's here or there. And then the crew, they're just, it's just not very sociable. A lot of people are here. We have a lot of different nationalities, but they're not very sociable people, which is fine. I'm here to do my job, and they can do whatever they want. I don't particularly care. But it was just very strange. Then I'm going to talk about MSC and the way that we are expected to work as crew staff. So, as crew staff, you work in all kinds of hours. It is ridiculous the amount of hours that we are expected to work. And I know you could say that, people in the kitchen work so many hours, housekeeping work so many hours. Yes, we all work plenty of hours, but entertainment are not supposed to work as many hours as what they do. I take my hats off to, housekeeping. I take my hats off to the cleaners, the chefs, the waiters. They do a phenomenal job, and they try their best. And some of them are really helpful, some of them are quite rude. But we are worked to the ground to the point where I like to go and party every now and then, but as soon as I finish work, I'm too exhausted. I just climb into bed and just switch my light off and go to sleep. I'm too exhausted to go and socialise and unwind. I haven't got the energy to unwind. When I'm in work, we're always told to socialise, which is fine. I don't mind walking past someone, smile, say hi, how you doing, whatever. But sometimes we're made forced to socialise, so there's times where they'll assign the entire team to go into a small area and socialise with our guests, which is not an issue, but they want us to socialise with every guest in that room. which again, not an issue. The issue that I'm having with it is they don't want us to sit down with a guest for about 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, and just have a nice little chat with them, get that bond with them, if you will. They'd rather us sit down for 2 minutes, move on to the next person in 2 minutes, like we're a famous load of people, and it's the same, hello, how you doing, how's your cruise, this is my name, blah blah blah, write out a nice form, here you go, move on to the next person. They want to see that 100 times a night, basically, is what they're asking. They don't care how big your fish is, they just care about how many fish are in your net. So a lot of it is always forced, which again is fine. We have a lot of Spanish audience on here. Even though we're in America, we have a lot of Spanish audience. So sometimes I do struggle, as my sole language is English. I do know little bits of Spanish. Very, very basic, but very little. But I know little bits of it. And I do try my best to have a nice time with the passengers and talk to them. As well as that, we're forced to dance with passengers, which again isn't really an issue. But when we've been dancing for 2 hours, like preparing for a party, doing a little spot, on board we have about 10 different parties that we do on board. There's so many different costumes, so many different outfits, so many different choreo to learn that they did not tell us about before boarding. I was not sent any videos to rehearse any of this, so I was thrown right in the deep end for it. I was given very little time to learn anything, and it was literally, when I was performing it, I was literally learning it. I had a little trial run for about 10 minutes before each show, but it's literally go out there, perform it, stand behind someone if you need to, and just copy what they do. No, it's not hard, but there is a lot of choreo to do, and there is a lot of different moves that I've not had to do in the past. So it's just like getting the accuracy of them down, the timings, learning the song, learn the beats, all that. But even though the actual party's only like 45 minutes to an hour, give or take, there's still the pre-party that we have to dance for, and then there's the after party. We have to direct everyone to the live band in the lounge next door, and then dance there for about up to half an hour after the party's finished. When it's just mainly just cruise staff, they're just like, when we're doing the party, like, come on, keep dragging people up, keep trying to fill the gaps, keep pushing everyone towards the stage. It's just very, very forced. If people want to just enjoy their drinks, we can't take no for an answer. We have to keep trying to bug them to try and get up. No one wants to do that. No one wants to harass someone whilst they're on holiday. So a lot of us just feel awkward doing that, but it's just very forced. And I'm at breaking point with it all. Like there are people out there that can do this job with no issues and no complaints. But for me, there's too many holes, too many breaking points. There was a lot of lying and deceit with MSC. There was a lot of misinformation given, a lot of things I was not told or said to. Now I'm going to talk about debarking and what will happen in the morning. As I have to keep remaking these videos just to give more of an accurate picture as something might have happened. Yes, I can cut something out, but I want it just to be one uncut video for this because of how serious it is. I want to make sure I'm saying things completely correct. I'm not giving half a story, I'm not giving half a truth. Because I don't want this to come across as me slating the company, me giving slander. No, this is me telling the truth and saying as it is and saying what goes on here at MSC. In the morning, I will be taken up to the sports court. I will then be given my passport to debark the ship. Before debarking the ship, there'll be police that we have to have a face-to-face interview with, blah blah blah. And then, from what I can gather, there will be there'll be a police officer assigned to me for the entire day. Whilst I'm in the US, they will escort me to the airport, wait with me in the airport, by my side, to make sure I do not flee into the US. That is insane. A likely chance of me running into the US and not going home is very unlikely. But whatever, like, I've just come to accept it by this point. It is so ridiculous, but I just have to accept it. I'm not happy with it. Again, I feel like a criminal, and if I was to stay on here any longer, I would feel more of a prisoner. Being allowed off once a week, maybe even once every 2 weeks, maybe not even at all. It just wasn't going to be what I wanted to do. Obviously, you guys know that I love my DJing role, and I love to be a DJ. But I was told that I had to come and complete a contract as crew staff first. And I can't. I physically can't be here and agree to all this. There is minimal, and I mean minimal, reward for what? Be trapped here like a prisoner and be forced to make myself happy day in, day out. I'm not happy in the job. And the moment that a job like this turns into a chore is the moment you need to just say, I don't want to be here, I can't be here. So, I'm unsure when I'll be uploading this video, but it was a very serious one that I had to talk to you guys about, because I wanted anyone to be prepared that I want to say that not all cruise ships are like this. Obviously, when I left Princess, I was allowed, as you saw when I had my medical disembarkation, for one reason or another, which I still don't understand, I was deemed a risk to be left on the boat in case, because I was in my own cabin, in case I had a relapse of what happened on board. Without trying to go into too much detail, in case I had a relapse from what happened, I was at risk being on board. But yet, they sent me off the ship, sent me into a town in the middle of nowhere. I still can't remember where it was. It was like half an hour from Rostock in Warramute, into a hotel when the hotel manager knew more than I did about the situation. Obviously, it was quite scary for me, being in a foreign country where people didn't speak my language, and I was stressed. But my issue was the reason that they took me off the ship was because I was at risk and they were trying to do it for my own benefit. But at the same time, I could have had a relapse in my hotel room, and if I did a relapse and worst case scenario, died, no one would have known for about 2 days anyways. So they would have found out a lot sooner that I was in trouble if I was on the ship. I would have been noticed being missing after a maximum of 12 hours. Very, very most 12 hours, but more likely if it happened as soon as I came in from work and I had a relapse, say at like 2 or 3 in the morning I had a relapse as soon as I came into work, I'd be noticed missing by 11 AM that next morning. By 11:30 someone would have been in my room. Yes, it would have been too late, but it would have been a hell of a lot better than realising 2 days later. That's just one thing I never really understood. But with that being said, I had no one with me, no one waiting for me, blah blah blah. I was still able to walk around, as you saw from my medical video. I was walking around in Germany, no issues. The issue that had was quite a serious one at the time, but I've not relapsed since, and I've been given the green light to come back to work, and that was nearly a year ago. So we're doing all grand now. When I was on Pino, could get off everywhere I went. Obviously, I was in Europe and everything was fine, no issues. Loved it. As you saw from videos, everything was great. I was treated with respect. Everyone was super kind to me on board. If anything, they couldn't do enough for me, and I will be forever grateful for the way I was treated on board. Obviously, there was a few little bits between missing communication between port side and ship side, but that's here nor there. But here, there is so many things wrong, so many things that I was lied to about, so many things that were unkept. So I don't want to scare anyone off. If they want to come and work for MSC, by all means. But I want to make this video that if you do want to work for MSC, at least you know what to expect. At least you know what kind of situation you're going to arrive to. Obviously, if you're from Argentina, Mexico, India, Philippines, Taiwan, Malaysia, this job is literally a blessing. As you know, you get like 4 or 5 times more than what you do back in them countries. So obviously it's a great deal for them people. But being British, being from a developed country, also one that's just had Brexit, it is unbelievably unfinancially affordable to be here. It's not worth the time or the effort being here whatsoever. And I have no love for the job anymore. But with that being said, thank you all for watching. Wish me luck for tomorrow. By the time you watch this, I'll be back in the UK anyways, so I'll be safe. But wish me luck for tomorrow. It's ridiculous. I'll be with police officers, and I won't even be able to go to the bathroom without them standing outside. I don't know what else to say. Like, my cruise director, he's also from the UK, and I literally said that out loud. He goes, yeah, I also agree, it's insane. But the issue I had was MSC lied and said it was the US's fault. when I spoke to a US police officer, they said it's a rule created by MSC, and MSC decides who can go off and who can't. One of my friends works on another line, and they go to New York, and they were allowed off a day after I was denied. And my friend lives maybe an hour and a half, 2 hour drive from me. Both in the same country, both had roughly similar opportunities, both do entertainment, but they were allowed off in the US when we have the same documents, given the same level of clearance to leave. But they were allowed off in the port that I was not allowed off. So it's insane. But I don't know what this brings. I don't know what I'm going to be doing next. I don't know if I'm coming back to cruise ships. If my agent gives me another short contract, I probably would take it. But I'll only take DJ now, I think. Could all change. I might come back to this, maybe not to MSC, but I might come back to cruise ships, doing some sort of entertainment role. But for now, as it stands, I would just prefer to do DJing. But with that all being said, my name's been Brooke on board for one last and final time. Peace out. Alrighty, so finishing off from that last video, I thought that was going to be the end of it, but obviously it's not. So, hey guys, what's going on? Brooke off board. Today has been in later words, a big palaver. So, at 7 AM I'd meet with CBP, which is basically US Police Authority. I asked them why I was not allowed into America. They said that I should have been allowed into America the entire time because I'm British. There was no issue for me to be in America. I was not safeguarded either, being at the airport. There's no one here stopping me from leaving whatsoever, which is really nice. They said that I'm not a flight risk whatsoever. I literally said that in front of the crew purser. Crew purser looked like a deer headlights. I was like, changing their story all of a sudden. Not rating that at all. I was told by US police that I was allowed to leave the ship whenever I felt like it. I said I'll make my own way to the airport. I'll make sure I get on my own flight. And it's currently 3 minutes to 7 in the evening. And my flight left at 6:30. I got here at 5:15. Yeah, usually you have to get there 3 hours in advance for international flights. I missed it by 10 minutes. They shut the boarding at 10 past. I wasn't expecting to have the flight still there, so they've screwed up. So they have to rebook me a new flight home. So I'm not pleased about everything. They refused to let me off the ship. MSC refused to let me off the ship, just on the basis that I might not even go to the airport. I said that's just ridiculous. So even though police have said, yeah, I'm fine, MSC have said they still have a duty of care and refused to let me off the ship until 2 o'clock. I didn't leave Brooklyn and the cruise port until 10 to 4. I didn't get here till 5:15, and I'm now here until tomorrow. I'm now here till tomorrow evening at 5:30 in the evening. I'm being rebooked onto KLM to go to Amsterdam. I had a few different options, which I'm kind of good about. To their credit, they could have put me on back on tonight, but I kind of said no because I wanted to go into New York. The options were fly to Dublin on British Airways, fly in Air France business class to Paris, or tomorrow fly on KLM to Amsterdam. But I might be able to get business class for that if I'm lucky. But I would love to go on Air France business class tonight, I only rejected it because I wanted to go into New York. It's such a hard thing. Like, in an ideal world for me, I would have gone business class, Air France, Dublin, and then Dublin to Birmingham would have been the dream for me. Would have been the dream for me. But at last, they've rejected it. Well, there's no flight for it, so I've not even asked for it. It doesn't. My dream does not exist. My dream does not exist. So I didn't bother asking for it. It's fine. So now, it's 7 o'clock. I'm gonna get my skates on in a minute. I'm a bit annoyed with the cruise line because they've said that I've got $80 to go and get myself a hotel, get myself to the hotel, and get myself back here with $80. And then I've got $20 food allowance, which again I'm still annoyed about. $20, fine, that's fine for a full day, whatever. I mean, it won't get me very far. Fine, $20, whatever. $80, I'm not gonna get anything near the airport for less than like $150 tonight. So it's kind of ridiculous that they've even suggested that I get that, but that's money I've got to put down and then give back to the company. As it hasn't been translated that I'm not coming back, so it's whatever. It's just another mess up by MSC. They've been really unorganised. I've kind of been screwed over, so I'm gonna get my skates on. I'm gonna head back to Brooklyn, and I'm gonna go to Cheesecake Factory and go and get dinner. Well, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. My name is Brooke, and I'm on board. Peace. Alright guys, so picking up from where we left off. It is just after mid, and what do you know? Not at all on a plane. I'm very much so on flat ground. There's the Brooklyn Bridge. You know, I have to make, I don't know when my next video will be, I don't know what it will be, I don't know where my next venture will be. So for what it is, I need to make this one worthwhile. So, MSC have failed to book me a hotel because they're based in Italy and they're already advanced in a day and they can't book for a previous day, you won't let them, whatever. So I've got nowhere to stay tonight. So I'm doing the sensible thing. My bags are still in JFK. I'll pick them up tomorrow afternoon for my flight. Free luggage holder really. So potato to me. They're looking after my luggage. I don't know if I was allowed to leave it there. I mean, the girl behind the desk there could leave it there. So, we're all good on that aspect. So I'm just carrying around my backpack with my essentials in it. And I'm loving it, to be fair. Is this a good idea? Flip a coin, really, for it. Kind of hoped that I was going to miss my flight. They were going to rebook me on a later one, like for like 9 o'clock tonight. I kind of the guys at the front gate were so nice, so helpful. They rebooked me on the 9:30 one, but after speaking to my agent, they cancelled it and put me on tomorrow. But that was more my choice, to be fair. I can't get too mad at MSC for not booking a flight, but not booking a hotel. So it kind of was my choice, but at the same time, I could have got on a flight tonight, but at the same time, because I didn't, they are supposed to book me a hotel, but you can look at it both ways. I kind of had something to do with it, of me staying in New York overnight. As you can see, I'm not being followed by any police or anything like that, so there is that bonus that I am allowed to run around on my own, be left to my own devices, and it is perfect. I've not been here for about 7 years. When I last came back here, it was November,
It was about 2 or 3 degrees. It's currently 10 degrees. Shorts, but it's fine. It's all grand. So Manhattan's that way. Brooklyn's this way, and I'm going to Brooklyn because it needs to happen. I'll tell you how happy I am to actually be able to walk along the bridge. Everything in one night that I was going to do over the space of 6 months. Cheesecake Factory, Brooklyn Bridge, Times Square, Broadway, a few other things, Central Park. There's quite a lot that I wanted to do, but I was going to space it out over 6 months. Because obviously I wouldn't be able to get off every time turn around, and it'd have to be done in little pieces. But I've got 22 hours. Well, I had 22 hours from when my flight was left and when a new one was booked to basically leave, run around, and then get back on the ship. And I couldn't be happier that things worked out the way I have. Would I change things? Some things, yeah. Some things definitely. But I'm quite happy how I am. Put my bag down for a minute. Oh, weight lifted off my shoulders. Guys, I looked very depressed in the last video. Granted, well, in the last few clips. Granted, I felt worn down, I felt beaten, I felt trapped, I felt exhausted. I felt like I couldn't escape. This is my freedom now. My flight, currently to speak, is about 80 miles east of Ireland. So I wouldn't have been far from like coming back into the UK now. Well, coming back into Paris. Then the Merivelia has just left New York and it's on its way elsewhere, up to like Boston or something, or Portland, I don't know. But I'm free, guys. I'm free. I'm happy. You know, this might only be one night thing, but some would argue one night's the best nights. There's a joke in there somewhere, but you live life once. You do only live life once, and I don't care how much I spend tonight or today. If I get to run around New York and get to do a load of things, I will definitely do them. I've got no worries about a couple of bucks. Like, I don't care if I spend $100 or $200 today. Ideally not 200, but if I spend about $120, $130, I don't mind. I've got no problems with that. I went to Cheesecake Factory earlier on to spend $60 on food, plus a tip. No, that's including tip, sorry. But you live life once, guys. So when life gives you lemons, cut them in half, squeeze them in your eyes, and say, let's do this. Because I love being able to come on camera and not fake a smile. When I was in the last clips, it was so hard for me to smile and so hard for me to be happy and so hard for me to enjoy everything. Here, I just talk about it and I just know I'm free and I'm just so buzzing. Like, you look on my channel, there's quite a few clips, but there's a lot of my videos, I'm genuinely smiling just because I'm enjoying life. And these are the moments you have to live for, these are the moments you have to cling on to, and these are the moments you have to work for. So most people will be quite down and gutted when they miss a flight. Not me. This is everything I've never wanted and everything that I dreamed for. I mean, it's not great that MSC didn't book my hotel But again, I can't give them all like hate that way. Logistically, they couldn't. They tried. Logistically, they couldn't. But also, it was kind of my fault, so I will hold my hands up for that one. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you so much for following my channel. I'm unsure when my next video will be uploaded. I'm unsure what I'll be doing next. I don't know where my life will take me after this. I haven't got another cruise line lined up. I don't know when I'm leaving the country next. But what I do know is I love each and every one of you. This has been the exclusive inside content of working at sea. Thank you so much all for watching. Hit that like, subscribe button. My name's been Brook Offboard. I'll see you later.